What's happening, everyone? Happy Valentine's Day. Hope you're loving PulseChain out there, loving your significant other, spending time with friends and family, and all that good stuff. Good stuff. Headed into the weekend. A lot of amazing things happen in the PulseChain ecosystem. We'll do a quick stream and talk about the hexes, though. The hex.com. I love the hex.com. So I haven't looked at Twitter. I haven't looked at it much today, but I imagine there is probably a lot of love going on for Hex and everything else, or you're just not online and you're doing other stuff, which is probably a good break as well. Touch grass. What was it? Coffee said the other day. Touch grass. We're all going to die one day. He said it after something. I don't know, something that it was controversial or people disagreed with, or like it's like the perfect whatever it was. Like it's like the perfect phrase to say after you say something like that. It's like, I'm removing myself from this conversation. Don't think too hard about it. Don't stress over the small. Don't sweat the small things. Touch grass. We're all going to die one day. That's true. That's true. Well, I mean, longevity research. Hopefully, we can extend it and die less quickly. Be more pro life, pro all that stuff. I like it. Hopefully, we'll be able to. Science and technology, good stuff. Let me see out of the chat real quick though before we get into it. And by the way, give me an answer to this poll. Again, I don't want to taint the poll. Please give me an answer. Will Ethereum and PulseChain hex peg? Yes or no before we get into it. C3 works. How's it going? Welcome. Diversify. That's a cool name. I like that. Got the muscles in the chat. Good stuff. Large. Let's go. Yeah, Ninja Stream. I didn't announce this. Just wanted to again take 20 minutes or so, talk to you all, discuss this real quick as well. Apparently, it's don't want to ruin the surprise, but it seems like this poll is very much right in the middle. So again, give me an answer to the poll before we move on, so we can get into the topic. Yes or no, chat. Yes or no. We got almost 100 of you watching. One of you got to say yes or no on this if you want us to move on. What's up, Red Squirrel? Good to see you, man. Oi. Full power 555. I like that. I like 5. I like 55. 555. 5,055. 555. All the good stuff. What's up, Hexkins? Welcome. Chad, a muscle. Speaking of muscles, look at that 69 pack, 369 pack. You've been upgraded. 369 pack in the chat. How's it going? Bright light. How's it going? Welcome. I know everyone's taking their time, like, I don't know if I want to answer the question. Yeah, let's go. What's that bright light? Let's go, Hexkins. And the red squirrel comes up with no. All right. Again, not an unreasonable stance at all. That is what I lean towards as well. I almost want to, again, it's not that I tend to think differently about these things, because I find myself sometimes, talking about covering things and taking positions where I'm like, it doesn't even benefit me. Like, if you assume that, I've had a hex for a long time, and you assume that I've got both hexes and stuff too, and all this stuff, fair assumptions for most people who've been around a while too. And I don't even think about, it doesn't even start with me wanting my bags to go up. It starts with the first principles, right? It starts with, does this make sense? Like, and there's all these different narratives around, okay, like this will be a part of something bigger happening in the ecosystem where all the things will peg and all these things too. And then there's just the facts on the ground of, again, like, I don't know why it would happen. Like, I'm not saying I don't want it to happen. Like, it's not even that I want it to happen. It is that I don't know why it would happen. Like, I haven't seen a compelling argument. Again, everyone who wants it to happen is going to come up with a compelling argument. And again, is that because everyone has a bag of it and wants it to go up? Is it because it would be an amazing thing to happen? Is it because there's all these theories around it? Sure, all those valid, cool. But I like to look at these things very objectively. Even if it pegging, everyone who has a bag of it, if it pegged, would they make more money? Would they be, where their bags go up, right? Yes. But again, what is the evidence for that actually happening? The founder himself, some people think it's a well-known ecosystem, did the whole market's decided thing. So I can't think of the argument of, the OAs can do it. They can do what? Yeah, they can do lots of things. But like, if you have an idea of the OA's intentions before, and if you think the OA, is the founder or some relevance there too, or thinks in the same way, we had the market decided tweet where it was pretty clear that he wanted to funnel everyone on the PulseChain and away from HEX, and then said that, if HEX gets a free ride, like that may happen as well. So the pegging, I think the question is like, will it peg or will it still be valuable? Now, I totally think it'll still be valuable. Again, I'm not financial advice. I'm not making any predictions. I'm just saying what I think. I think HEX will be valuable. I don't know why it wouldn't be. I don't know why it wouldn't be valuable. I think that's a hard case to make, is like, why wouldn't it be valuable going forward? I don't know. There's no compelling argument saying why it wouldn't be valuable, why there wouldn't be a market, why there wouldn't be people buying it and staking it and doing whatever else they want with it based on their own portfolio and incentives and all this stuff too. But why it would peg, I got to stretch. I got to do some gymnastics to think about like why it would happen. But again, if it does happen, I'm okay, cool. Like, again, I don't see it in front of me of like why that would happen. Like, I have to come up with, again, I've seen all these different theories and stuff in the threads and all these things, or all these different positions. Some of them are probably pretty valid. Some of them are kind of just, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. But it's one of those like, why would it? I don't know. I haven't seen a compelling one. But the cool thing is you can choose. I do like this too. You can choose. That's what, I think the argument for, okay, we all need to get on the same page and move away from HEX to go to PX. So that part doesn't, there's this, okay, if we all come together, of course the money can go through that and HEX can go up faster and all this stuff too. But I just don't think it's realistic because, again, free people make free choices. Some people are aligned to want HEX to go up and hold it and buy it and bet on it and all this stuff too. And some aren't. And it's always going to be that way after 3 years of accumulating so many people with different types of bags and different choices they want to make. So that's the cool part is, you can choose. And it's great. And there's all different ways to do it. So everyone can do everything they want to do, which is great. Again, for some reason, always spirals into this like holy war of you're flooding my bags, or you're flooding your own bags, or you're being selfish. You just don't want the real HEX to succeed. Or I'm not saying people are saying this to me. I'm just saying in general, like the holy war ethos of this is a thing, and people should think one way or another. Just doesn't make it. I don't get it. I don't know. So Vince had a pretty interesting thread on this as well. And again, this is exactly it. People are entitled to their opinions. Like, I would not shout at someone because their opinion didn't match mine. Trust me, there are plenty of people and plenty of, every kind of person in PulseChain. And, I agree with some of them more and some of them less and all this stuff too, but I'm not like yelling at them about it. And even if what they're saying affects my bags, I want them to be able to say it, the market to decide. And I value that. I value, free choice and coming up with, the kind of the ground truth of things and looking at it again from first principles thinking. So I don't know, but I like this. There's a lot of references here too that I haven't actually looked at. Let me look at it real quick and I get back to chat. I know chat's popping off. Appreciate you all. So yeah, this is just Richard talking about it. HEX is much better than EHEX. If you think the OA is going to peg them, why would, I mean, who knows in the future? Maybe it's like we've had a ton of changes from the OA recently. We've had, the lowering of inflation and the lowering of yield and all this stuff too. We've had monetary policy changes on HEX. At this time, I don't know. I don't see a reason for that. But maybe in 2 or 3 years, maybe it's like, all right, pegging makes sense or something. I don't know. Again, I hate even saying like makes sense, because everyone who believes that is going to be like, no, but it does make sense. You just don't understand, or you just don't. And again, it's all, at the end of the day, we're all just guessing out here. But if I'm going to guess, I'm going to guess with what Richard's talking about it. In the latest version of that, at least, I'll say that. And to me, there isn't any other way for it to happen unless maybe this is it. Okay. There isn't any other way for it to happen that I can think of. Check, put your ideals there, other than the OA making it happen. And if I don't believe the OA is interested in doing that, then why would I believe it's going to happen? OA can change their mind. Maybe the OA changes when the facts change, just as the monetary policies and everything else that happened. But yeah, there's nothing currently that I can see that is happening. So come to PulseChain. That's what I've heard too. All right, let me get to chat. Trying to have an objective conversation here. Please be nice. Like we can talk. Let's just talk. Let's talk and then let people decide. I'm not trying to sway people one way or another. I'm asking questions like, hey, do you think it'll peg? According to this poll, majority of people who answered this poll said yes. So there's a ton of people who think it'll peg. And they have the reason, I'm sure. And I'm sure it makes sense to them, and probably more than them as well. But yeah, getting a lot of, as far as what I'm looking at, I don't see any reason for it to happen. Again, do I want it to happen? Why wouldn't I want it to happen? If you assume that people have been here a long time, have bags of both, why wouldn't I want it to happen? But like me yelling that it's going to happen and not looking at it to be like, what is the, when I say something, I want to have data behind it. Again, this is maybe just me. Maybe there's a few other people out there like that too, but I want to say things that I can point to, be like, that's why. That is a clear indicator. Otherwise, I'm just going to be speculating. And maybe in this, I'm speculating too, but I don't have a lot to go on it. So it's no, yeah. And there's some yeses, some nos, but anyways, happy Friday, Archie. Red Squirrel has absolutely no reason for them to peg different assets, different changes. That makes sense to me. And even more than that. So I'm going to take the other side. Let me take that aside. Because again, I want to be objective, right? I'll take the other side of that. But the promise of PulseChain is the amazing things that can happen like that, such as coins having value of their copies. And even some coins, what if why couldn't they overtake the value of the chain they came from? Why couldn't P copies flip E copies? Or I guess just tokens from ETH. Why isn't that something that would be part of the narrative, part of the story? Why couldn't that happen? There's an obvious case for it to happen on HEX because, again, some people are treating it as migration, some people aren't. I asked Richard. Only question I've ever asked Richard live on the thing. The only time I've ever been live with him on stream was during the HEX conference 2 or 3 years ago. And luckily enough, I asked that question, which I could reference. I asked him if it was migration. He said no at the time. But then the market decided tweet came out and all that stuff. So whether it was an intended migration from the beginning or an effective migration afterwards, after more data was collected and see the direction of which way, to influence things, or which way to, I guess, present to people, and I guess let them decide. Again, that comes with a lot of influence, of course, as well. That's what happened. So the reason for them to peg, again, outside of, there's all kinds of narratives out there for it. But the first thing I think of is, well, the expensive HEX or don't want to see cheap HEX anywhere, right? There's that. But if I feel like I've already heard from the OA that PulseChain's the priority, priority means more, not parity. So that's what I'm looking at. Gotta know. Extremely low liquidity can make it go huge. That pumps PX to an extent. Both be $1 cycles so rare. Yeah, lower liquidity on EX for sure. Yeah, if the liquidity is tied to PX, maybe EX helps PX. Like it was, I've seen it presented the other way around. PX will pull EX up. Again, I haven't seen any compelling reason to go to parity, but pulling it up, of course, like I think it'll help it. Like, why wouldn't it? That's the one where I say, why wouldn't it help? The parity, that's a different one. Is there like, who's going to be like sitting there making sure if it, that it's roughly the same all the time for the foreseeable future? Who's going to be doing that? Unless it's the OA. And I haven't seen intentions from the OA that show that. Doesn't really matter. Maybe one day, very high price, they will. That's a great point too. Like, why does it matter? Why can't people buy EHEX and stake EHEX, and people buy PX and stake PX and provide liquidity and do everything they want with their money? And tip of the hat to you, sir. Best of luck. Tip of the hat to you, whichever one you like. Why not that? I also bid the RH spicy tweets because the EX was too heavy on the non-believers. I mean, I guess there could be a point of helping the new onboards. Well, I mean, there's a lot to that too, because you could say, okay, I mean, some of these were like, stop showing the chart or something, right? It's like, I'm tired of, if you guys are tired of idiots posting the EX chart as though it were HEX, you could let the ranking sites know that HEX on PulseChain was been called. 9 months now is where all the liquidity is, where everything is going on. So maybe it's a way to get away from charts. Maybe it's a way for new people to, be exposed to it and not, again, have the high fees from ETH. Yeah, there's some of that too. There would have to be an add-on maintenance like tension something to force it until no. Yeah, I mean, I've said before, like if there's ever a HEX V2, this is before, I think I talked about this before the market decided tweet and all that stuff. It was like, if there's going to be a HEX V2, then that could do something like the anticipated magic that we may see from Hedron, like how goes to Hedron V2, where they're kind of interchangeable. And there's this, tech behind it that makes that possible. But again, I haven't seen the intentions from the founder for that to be something that wants to happen or support. So let's see. All right, I can't get to all the comments. You guys got quite a few. Where do y'all think EHEX will go conservative target? Yeah, like I said, don't make predictions, but why? Oh man, where do you think EHEX go to target? Sorry, I was reading the chat here for a second. I hope PX pulls it up a lot. I hope that's where we get for sure. EX $3. That would be funny if we had EX $3, PX, $5, $6, $4 even. $369 more. Yes. Johnny, having trouble. Link. Man, I don't have time. I want this. I definitely want to talk to you about it, but I do not have time right now. Otherwise, I definitely would. But shoot me a message if you want to come on. I will definitely set something up and chat about it, because it'd be a great conversation. Again, I want to come to it with a very objective lens, and I know you got some probably very compelling pieces too. So I definitely want to chat with you about it. So we'll see if we can do that. What's up, Tam Tam? Welcome. All right. Do. Again, PulseX to TrueX. It's one of those, like it's impossible to get everyone on the same page. So it's a decentralized thing, right? Like it's not even beyond that. that's the way it should be. Like, it should be everyone making their own choices. And in the world where, EHEX doesn't do very well and PHEX, takes all the liquidity, takes all the buy pressure, like takes all that stuff, then, I mean, that is the market deciding, right? Like, if that happened and EHEX went down a lot, especially after, the market decided stuff, because people are like, okay, if the founder is not even, it's not even put into support this way, then, that's that answer the questions for them, at least it sound like the people participating in the market. So I don't know. It is very hard to imagine a world where EHEX is more than PX or a parity with it, but does it go up with it and get, a free ride? Does it have its own market that does well? Why? I haven't heard a compelling argument saying that wouldn't happen. So, sorry, I got to wrap up here in just a minute. And definitely follow up with Johnny and see when he can come on and talk about this. So, because I definitely want to chat and hear more about the pegging. Again, I don't know if this is points towards pegging or not, but that's the one where I would be. I've had trouble having a compelling point towards pegging. EHEX going up, I have no problem seeing EHEX going up. Pegging, that's a different one. But a preview, EHEX dies, everything dies, you have the data. We tried it their way. Let's go with EHEX. What if EHEX died? I kind of want to explore that. What if EHEX did just not go to zero, but just didn't have any, became irrelevant? People didn't talk about it anymore. How would that affect things? Would that cause, because, so many questions from that, would that cause the community to be like, oh, how do we know PulseChain is going to survive then? Or HEX on PulseChain is going to survive? I don't think, or would it rally people, or would that be more cohesive? Like, would that be yeah, that's an interesting question. So anyways, yes, I do want to explore that, Johnny. Do not have the time to today. However, I'll try to set something up with you and talk, because definitely lots of people are interested in that. I'm interested to hear it too. So anyways, that's all we got for you today. Happy Valentine's Day. Hope you're having a great one out there. And may we get the majesty gains ASAP. Let's do it. Scivive and 5555. We are